Mags. We have not devoted any of our lives to it. I mean, I admitted to the first 2 minutes with like a paper boat or something that she made, but you're my Ring of Power seer. So how bad? How
It's
bad has it gotten? How bad has it gotten?
it is so bad. It's all a bunch of Cheeto dust fell all over it, and it seems.
Oh no.
We got
But
to that
I
part, huh?
honest, I honestly, I honestly have to admit, I my brain was being broken so much. I had to quit after episode 4. I had to
Mm.
for my own sanity. I couldn't watch. I couldn't justify staying up that late to watch it, and and then second of all, it's just it's the dialogue is so mind-numbingly stupid. I don't understand. These people don't know how to human. It's like a bunch of AI wrote the script
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
pieced it all together and it came out a jumbled mess or something. I don't understand how these people, these characters interact with one another. It's not I mean, without sounding like I'm a broken record, but it's not Tolkien at all. I mean, first of all, like everybody else is, I'm not deep in the lore. I'm not as knowledgeable as other people are in the YouTube sphere. But according to what I know and what I have heard from people is that Galadriel is supposed to be married at this time with what Celebrimbor, or I don't know. I might be saying it wrong, but at the same but everyone's like, where is he? He's not even here. He's dead. What the heck is going on? So they say that this is based on Tolkien, and then it's adapted from Tolkien, and then it's something else, and it's like they're constantly shifting the goalposts, and then they tell us that we're evil people, by the way, for not liking the show. It's like, you know what? Nah, you're doing this to yourself, fam. Go away. It's just and I've been seeing some of the clips. I've been seeing people's reactions, and I can't do it because my brain hurts, and I much rather watch other things. And yeah, so I'm not the
Well,
best person to talk about it, but at this point, I gave up. I thought I was going to try to do it for people, and let's just say I'm not I can't be a masochist like everybody else.
well, evidently you're not alone. Bifer says, yeah, bailed out at episode 4. Yeah,
It was just
episode
too
4.
much. And the Harfoots, oh my god, I just can't stand
So,
them.
so my clip will be called "When Ring of Power Broke Mags."
Yes, it broke my brain. It literally did. I wanted to, I don't know if anybody knows Final Fantasy 6, but my avatar is based on the main character, and she turns into an Esper and flies out the window. That's how I feel right now. I want to fly out the
Just
window.
fly out the window.
Just fly out the window, run away.
So, Matt,
Anyway.
whenever you heard about this show and stuff like that, what turned you off from like giving it a fair chance? Is there something
So
that?
I actually did watch episode 1, and then
Mhm.
I got through half of episode 2, and I was just like, I can't do this. When I saw the, I guess it's supposed to be Gandalf come out of the sky, and like he was like an asteroid or something. I don't know. And the Harfoot or Harefoot found him in the crater.
That's a good one.
Whatever. I was like, I'm done. Like, this is dumb. I don't get this. This is bad acting. When she jumped off the boat and she swam all the way back. What's her name? Galadriel. Like, because I like Lord of the Rings. I've watched the movies. I've never read the books. I like the Peter Jackson movies. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's like, I'll give it a chance as a normie. And I was like, I just have zero interest. This is boring. And I couldn't get through the second episode. And I was like, I don't care how many views these might get, these reviews. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So
It's mind-numbingly awful, and
yeah.
it's boring. It's no progression of plot. It's all snarling and just it's just. I mean, some of the lines of dialogue, you can tell that you think that the people behind it felt very like they thought that they were pretentious enough to write like Tolkien, and you can tell that they were honestly pleased with themselves. I mean, that's how
Wow.
out of touch they are. I mean, one of the lines was, there's a tempest in me and blah, 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 blah. And, the first thing I wanted to do was laugh at that because I'm like, what, you're holding in a fart or something? It's so silly. I'm like, it's like they mix it up with such stupid action and other words. And then they have these weird moments where they have this dialogue that seems that probably to them, they think that they're brilliant for saying, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like y'all think you're so happy and proud of yourselves, and you probably have never had any quality assurance or anybody grade your papers when you were in middle school saying, hey, you probably should reward this a little bit better. It's like,
Yeah. So Zach is giving us her update here. Celeborn,
thank you.
Celebrimbor is B. Arthur, and Galadriel also has at least one daughter.
Yeah, see, I knew Zach's or somebody in the chat would
they'll keep us honest. Yeah, they'll
keep me honest. I know I'm not in the Tolkien expert here, but yeah.
Well, Jacob Ironside's got it right here. I think this is what my turnoff was. It's not Tolkien, it's tokenism, and because it was just like the marketing was so about the one black dwarf lady, and it was just like I don't care at all, and it
shouldn't even matter.
Yeah,
if it's a good story, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Das Wolfman is here, and he says, yeah, I'm still watching it. All right, man. Well, I'll have to check out, see if you got videos. So I've got to be honest, I've just kind of like laid low on all of it. I've seen more like headlines and pieces like that. There's certain creators I normally watch a lot of. They're covering all this, and I got to be honest, I'm just going to wait till it's completely done. And at some point, I'll endure and suffer it, and all of you will laugh at my expense with each of my videos because I will probably be, because you know how I'm about writing. You guys know how I'm about story. And what I've heard is that is the least appealing element of it all. Like maybe it looks pretty at times and maybe there's a few moments, but the story and stuff is so bad and contradictory, it'll make my head hurt more than it normally does.
And not only that, but it's so jarring. So they have these wide shots where you can tell they definitely put money in to make it seem a bigger world, but then when they have the normal shots or actions or scenes when it's down the ground surface level or whatever, everything seems so small and cheap. And I mean, it's there's no richness or value behind it. There's no heart behind it. I mean, when you look back at the Peter Jackson trilogy and the amount of TLC in that armor and all the detail and every little, I mean, it's like, I'd like to say it in a certain way, but it's like a literal, like I get gleeful looking at all that stuff because it's almost like an eye.
We were discussing the appropriate terms were last night actually, and I weren't quite sure we came to an agreement on what was it?
Because I have a word in my head, but
I know. We threw out nerd boner and nerdgasm. I know.
I was gonna say it was an eyegasm for me because it's just all this level of texture and detail for the eye, and it's the thing is it's beautiful. It's art. I mean, even the costumes and the armor and the scenery and the way that the poise of even like Kate Blanchett and everybody else, and it's just amazing. And this show just is. It's just
for me, it's
jarring between that.
It's Helm's Deep. Like Helm's Deep was life changing because when it came out in theaters, to have that level of CGI and stuff accomplished in a rain scene was like groundbreaking.
And
like
because
the next step was Planet of the Apes. Like you saw, I think it was the second or third Planet of the Apes with the rain scene. It's like when they get to those levels with the CGI. And then when you watch these trailers for Ring of Power and you're like, how could you be spending all this money? There's just nothing on screen. There's just nothing there. Who stole all of the money? That's what
that's the thing. You go from, the world doesn't seem very lived in, whereas in the Peter Jackson trilogy, it does. Sure. And then you go to, then they switch over to the scenes of like the Harfoots, which, for a group of people, they are certainly genocidal. They leave their people behind. And it's just, and they're like, they're supposed to be, hobbits are supposed to be hospitable. And I'm just like, no, they ain't. They leave their people behind. What the heck is going on? And it's so jarring. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, as much help as Zach's was, he's out. And we've lost Zach's too. So
Yeah.
another entertainment cope session. Yeah. And this is it. This is it for us now. So, and not sure if I'll catch up or not. I'm with you. I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Castle hates it. There's a tempest in her ?
Yeah.
Don't they have Middle Earth? Chris Persia, look at you driving really close to the lines here. See what you did there. No, I may have misspoke if I misrepresented that you said you liked it. I didn't mean to imply that you liked it, just that you were still watching it. That's all. I'm sorry if I misspoke. So, and the doctor's in the house. Freaking chat! Don't you love that, Matt? When you're doing comments and the thing just starts going bonkers on you and
Yeah.
blinking. It's a lack of depth and reason in a very limited vocabulary that it creates. Right. Yeah, listen, and no life experience, right, Doc? Like it's just. It's like, we could talk about comic books endlessly because I literally have morons writing comic books. Like I literally have people just sitting around for like 4 pages in a comic book talking about food in a comic book. So yeah,
They've never been told no. They've never been disciplined. That's the participation trophy type stuff, and it shows, unfortunately.
We'll try to do some more Ring of Power comments here. Part 1, tokenism. The practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to do a particular thing. Part 2, especially by recruiting a small number of people from underrepresented groups in order to give the appearance of sexual or racial equality within the workforce. Yeah, very, very good. Applause. Very good. Some hellos in chat. So y'all think, let's see. Ring's team bought the costumes and armor from Amazon.
I was going to say wish.com, but never mind.
That was the first thing I noticed when watching was the black elf. I don't know his name, but the armor just looked literally plastic and bendable when he was moving around and wearing. That was the first thing I noticed compared to Lord of the Rings or the Peter Jackson movies. I was like, "But this is terrible." Like Halloween, like Spirit Halloween stuff.
Right. Yeah. Because one of them did a show, like whether it was Gary or Az, or one of them did something. They had like a close up, and you could see like there were wrinkles here because there was like it clearly wasn't armor; it was just a shirt. That was you could see a fold. So like therefore, if you had a far away
chainmail or something.
Yeah. Exactly what it looked like. Yeah. Says I'm done. The real Rings of Power. I watched the first 3 seconds and shut it off. I made 2 minutes, Cap. So you and I are very similar class. Paper boat and a rock, and I was like, I'm done. I can't deal with this right now.
Somebody, there's a really funny clip out there in case you really want.
This was a really smart comment. I mean, you got to be honest. Comedy. That is a really good idea. Now that's my speed. When this is all said and done, having like a comedy watch, that actually is fine. Like I said, the only reason we got through Halo was we turned it basically into Mystery Science Theater. If any of you went back and watched the Halo episodes, we gave almost every character had a nickname. I even made a couple of fake posters, like Strawberry Spartan. She had her own little fake poster. I took their poster and remodified it so it said Strawberry. And if I can get my hand on those action figures super cheap, I'm going to make a Strawberry Spartan. I'm going to change it on the little and set on the Loki. We could do that with Rings of Power. Get enough people in there with a clever nickname, and make them.
That's the best thing to do with that stuff is just mock it into the ground.
Yeah,
just laugh at it all.
And you know what? They think that they're so serious in themselves and their own little world that by mocking them, it shatters it. And I know that sounds very cruel, but in a way, they've been very vicious towards us. I'm just gonna laugh at them. They deserve it.
Yeah, because if you come at them with actual criticism, the normal ists and phobes get thrown at you just for saying, modest or like, just basic criticism, like, hey, this really isn't that good. Not trashing it, right? And then they'll still call you any name in the book. So at this point, it's like, well, might as well just laugh at them and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And Zach's pointing out that Disa, which I think is the Black Dwarf that I mentioned, and that's what I've heard, is that she's actually likable and she's really not relevant to anything. So to build their marketing around the campaign just shows how stupid they are. So Amazon cannot create anything good. Quote, evil cannot create another new. They can only corrupt and ruin what good forces have invented or made. The man himself. That's awesome.
He's right, though.
Yeah. 3D printed armor. That's great. Yes. Crowds of copy and pasted heads. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
there's a I'm trying to find it, so I don't know if I'll find it in time. But there's a really funny video of bad lip reading and using some certain scenes in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Zach, I think I tagged Zach's and a couple others on it, so it was a couple of days ago, but I'll see if I can find it in time. If not, don't worry about it. I'll send it after the fact. But yeah, it's really funny.
Everybody's teeth in Middle East looks perfect. They don't have crest whitening but that's a problem with just about everything, man. I don't know. We were watching Army of Darkness, and they're all like clean and stuff, and I just kept getting distracted in Army of Darkness. Like, gosh, they wouldn't be clean. Like, and I'm talking about like the plebes that were there fighting. I'm like, oh gosh, it just bothers me. So, hey, Bobby's here. Awesome, my friend. Only good thing Amazon's done this year is Terminal List.
Good.
I've got to get to it.
So good.
Me too, Pops. That's another show that's on my list of ever-growing list of things to watch.
Whenever you all can, because I don't binge watch shows very often. That I binge watched. That was so good. Very well done.
Yeah, Joker, we did, and we're ready to move on. I know I'm ready to move on. If Mags is completely bailed out, we're not even going to bring it up anymore. But I was kind of like enjoying the Mags rant, let her get it out of her system. It's middle of the week. She can just go about her life. And, she was taking some of the bullets because I've been doing other shows. That was my opinion. So,
Thanks.
yeah. Yes.